Welcome to the Angels and Awakening podcast, where we connect you with your angels, loved ones, and soul self. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancis. My journey began when I started hearing my late father before I knew he'd passed. Through my readings, membership, and Angel Reiki School, I help you awaken, heal, and master your unique spiritual gifts. If you feel called to work with me, it's your angels guiding you to discover your soul's highest purpose. Details at theangelmedium.com. Thank you, Earth Angels, for the 5-star reviews. You're entered into a drawing to win a free session. Now, let's see what messages your angels have for you today. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancis. And friends, today we're here with Angel. I love that name, by the way. And Angel, you have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
tattoo of angel wings on you.
Thank
Um,
you.
yes, I know that you have a beautiful angel story to share with us today. I'm going to have you take it away.
All right. Well, yes, my angel tattoo is kind of a thing for my son. He was a Pisces, so it's Pisces with wings and a halo over it because he's my angel now.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
so yeah, I lost my son in June of 2020. Right when COVID was happening. It wasn't from COVID, but it was right when the everything was changing and we were at home and yeah, it was a tragic loss. So it's been a very interesting grief journey to say the least. So after he passed away, I of course took time off work. I was at home and surrounded by family and just having a really tough time, of course. And it started getting closer and closer to the time I had to return. And my anxiety was building and building, and I just wasn't ready to be around people. And I had thought about maybe extending my leave from work. And I talked to my son, I talked to Daniel a lot um, when I was hurting, when I was sad, I would always talk to him. And I always felt like he did give me some sort of sign, whatever it was. But when it was time to go back to work, I feel like he knew how heightened my anxiety was. And the day finally came. It was about 3.5 months later. And a lot of people say that was too soon, but I think I needed to try to re-enter life, somewhat normal life, I guess. And I was getting ready to head back to work that day, and I commute. I have about a 45-minute commute to work, one way. So I'm driving. I'm on most of it is freeway, and I'm getting ready to enter the freeway. I think I had my radio off. I didn't want any distraction. I was just kind of zoned in on getting to work, and I was nervous about what people were going to say, and I was nervous for the people that I was going to see at work. I didn't, you never know how to approach people after you lose somebody or how people are going to approach you. So I think that's where a lot of my anxiety was coming from.
Exciting news, friends! Our all new membership kicks off January 1st, and I couldn't be more thrilled to invite you to join us. This year, we've simplified everything with 12 powerful courses designed to help you connect with your angels, take control of your destiny, and use your intuitive gifts to transform your entire personal world, your relationship, professional successes, your healing journey. Plus, you'll get live weekly calls with me for hands on guidance and support. Bonus for members, my January course, Manifest Miracles with Aligned Co Creation, is free for you. Perfect for starting off 2025 with aligned miracles. Non members can grab one of the limited paid spots. And for those looking to start their own healing business, join the Angel Reiki School in person this April or start your journey online January 1st. You're going to learn mediumship, how to be an angel messenger, and energy healing all at once. And as a gift to everyone who listens to this podcast, on December 30th at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm holding a free healing for you to clear out all of the energy from 2024 and really clear out what's not serving you. And then again on January 1st at noon Central Time, I'm hosting a free 2 hour workshop where you're going to learn how to invite miracles into your 2025 and make this your best year yet. If you're ready to step into a miraculous 2025, sign up for all of this and more at theangelmedium.com/events. That's theangelmedium.com/events. Or email me at julie@theangelmedium.com for more information. I can't wait to spend all of 2025 with you in the Angel membership. Love you, friends. Now back to the show.
So I'm driving to work normal. It was just like yesterday. I was on the same road. I've worked at the same place for 15 years. And I'm talking to my son. I'm like, son, just be with me. I don't know how I'm going to do. And I get probably about halfway there. And I just happened to look up at a freeway overpass. And on our way to work I'm from California here in San Diego. And you do quite often see, like, I guess, graffiti or street art, I would say, on the freeway overpasses. And if the people that know my son know that he would dabble in a little bit of street art here and there. He was very much a drawer. He carried a sketchbook everywhere he went. He was always writing on some sort of paper, drawing on some sort of paper. So I look up at this overpass and it was like perfect timing because, of course, when you're driving, you're looking straight ahead at the road. So I look at the overpass and on it, it's painted the name Angel. So I'm like, that's weird. I've never seen someone write Angel on, any sort of graffiti that said Angel. It's always something that you can't understand or, you know, some random letters. So I go and as I'm talking to my son, I'm like, okay, son, I see you. I see you. I'm on my way. So I finish my journey. I pull up to work, anxieties, like, through the roof. I walk through the door and I see a few people, and you could tell that people kind of didn't know what to say to me, and got a few like welcome backs. And I'm sitting at my desk trying to, get back into my groove and making some small talk with people that pass by. And I survived till lunch. And I go to lunch and my boss says, "Oh, there's the Starbucks that was being built before you left. It's open." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee." So I run to Starbucks and I'm in the drive-through, and it's a really long line, of course, and it's new construction. So everything is just new and clean and nice. And they had put in next to the drive-through, there's a cement, like a cinder block wall, brand new, brand new. And I'm turning around the corner as I order. I placed my order and then I turned around the corner. And there was a big van in front of me, so I didn't have like a perfect view of what was ahead of me. Once the van left the window to pick up their order, I was able to see the rest of the cinder block wall. And on it, I could see like writing. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, these kids, they already vandalized this wall. It's brand new. So I get up to the window and I look over at it, and it's spray painted Angel, the name Angel. And I'm like, Okay, once was okay, but twice, I'm like, what's going on here, son?" And I remember at the time thinking, um, when I saw the one on the freeway overpass, I had said, "Son, you can do way better than that. That was really ugly." And when I saw this second one, I'm like, "Okay, son, this is very, very close to what I already saw this morning." I'm like, "I know this is you. I know you're here with me. I know you're here trying to provide some sort of comfort." Just because my son was always that way anyway. Anybody that knows him and knows our relationship knew that he was very, very big, like mama's boy. He was very upset when I was upset. He didn't like to see me sad. He was very much a mama's boy. So I knew it was him just trying to give me some sort of comfort. And I go back to work and I'm a mess at that point. I started crying in the drive-through. I got to the window to pick up my order and the girl's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine." And I get back to work. My boss is like, "Are you okay? Do you need to call it a day? Go ahead and go if you need to." And I'm like, "No, I'm here. I'm gonna stick it out." So I felt very at ease after that. I knew that my son was for sure with me, which I was lucky enough to feel a lot after he passed, especially in the days after he passed away. I just felt him. I felt him everywhere. He came to me in some dreams here and there, and he came to some family members' dreams here and there. He told my brother, he went to my brother in a dream and said that, let my mom know that I'm with her a lot. I sit next to her on her bed and I hold her hand. So after the whole work incident, a few weeks later, I I have a dream of him. And it was one of those dreams where you wake up and you feel like it was real, like you know that it can't be real because of what took place, but I just felt so like I had just seen my son and sat next to my son. Anyway, the dream was we were gonna have a chance to have a visiting hour with our loved ones in heaven, and it was gonna take place in the city. So I'm from San Diego, and we have a beautiful downtown area and full of tall buildings and tall like parking structures is what I remember in the dream. So me and my family, the entire family, we got ready. We were so excited. We were going to see Daniel. We were going to have a chance to talk to him. Everybody went. When we got down there, it was this huge, huge parking structure. Like it went like to the clouds. And there were just massive amounts of people there, like waiting in line to see their loved ones. Everyone was going to have a chance to have a meeting with their loved one from heaven. And it was in this huge parking structure, which was the weirdest thing. I still don't know what that means, but it was in a parking structure. We get in line. We're discussing memories of Daniel, our favorite memories of Daniel. And we finally get there, and I'm going to go first, of course. And all of the loved ones are in their own parking stall, like parking space. They're sitting in a parking space, each one. And I could hear like conversations going on, like in the next stall. That family was talking to their loved one, and so forth. I could hear conversations. People were, crying. People were happy. So I walk up to mine and I could see Daniel sitting right in the middle of his, and he has his head down, and I approach and I sit down in front of him, and you couldn't touch him was the only thing. So I sat in front of him. He looked up and just gave me he had this infectious smile that just lit up a room. And he smiled at me and he said, "Hi, Mom." And I said, "Hi, Daniel. I'm so glad I get to see you." And that's it. That's all I ever heard him say. And I think there's a reason why I didn't hear his voice after that. The worst part for me after he passed away was hearing his voice. Like hearing his voice just I couldn't deal with it. Even now, it's been 4.5 years. Hearing his voice is very, very difficult for me. So I think that was kind of like a protective thing from him. Like he only said hi to me and then didn't talk because he knew it was going to upset me. So I sit down with him and we're just kind of just sitting there. We're in each other's company. And he is sitting like in a pile of like ripped up papers, like little pieces of paper, almost like post-it notes, but they were all ripped up. And I could see there was some writing on them. And I sat there and I think I reached over to I think I reached over to like try and grab some, but I couldn't grab them. And the motion of my hand reaching over like caused like some wind, and the papers kind of fluttered in front of him, and they flipped over, and I could see on every single one of the papers it said Angel. It was my name. And I looked at him and he looked at me and I said, "It was you." And he smiled and nodded. And he's like, "Yeah."
It's beautiful. Friends, I'm pausing for 30 seconds because I love, love, love connecting with you and I want to connect with you more. Got a question? Let me answer it for you on the podcast. The link to submit your questions is in the show notes. Also, we need your angel stories. Share your angel stories at theangelmedium.com/contact. And last but not least, leave a 5-star review and you could win a free 20-minute session. Last year, I did 56 free readings for review winners. All links are in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Now, back to the show.
I woke up and I just felt like that was like they say that when you lose somebody, the signs you get and the validation that you get, you grasp it like with both hand. Like I take every sign that I get, every little thing that I get from him, and I like run with it. Like I know that's my son. And there's some people even in my own family that are, I wouldn't say non-believers, but I think they feel like not everything can be Daniel mom, not everything can be Daniel angel. It's some things are coincidence, but I don't believe that. I fully believe that it's my son. Um, when I woke up that morning, I just felt like I felt for the first time like my son was okay. Like he's okay. And I remember asking if he needed anything before my dream was over, and he shook his head. And I think that just gave me a feeling of ease. I knew that he was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. Um, it was much easier after that to go to work, not be so anxious anymore around rooms full of people, which I was for a long time in my grief. Um, I think it just had a huge impact on the future path of my grief journey for sure. Him validating that for me. So a few weeks later, probably I would say like 2 months, I'm going to work. I get there, and one of my really good friends from work comes up to me and he says, "Hey," he says, "I want to show you something." And I said, "Okay." So when you get to my office, the employee entrance, you walk through a courtyard. And in the courtyard, we have this huge ficus tree that's been growing in this big planter. And it's huge. It's like the length of the courtyard ceiling. And we walk out and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "How many times do you think that you and I have walked past this tree?" And I'm like, "Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds." We both of us have worked there for years and years. And he moves some of the leaves out of the way and pulls like a little branch down. And in the branch, there's a carving. And I look closer, and in the branch the tree branch, angel is carved into one of the branches. And I had told him about what had happened with Daniel and dreaming about him and my name being here and there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
he said, I've never ever seen this on this branch before. And I'm like, I mean, it was obvious that it was a brand new carving. So I just, the way that my son works and it still works to this day is just he catches me by surprise a lot, which is what he did when he was here. That particular day, I think I was having a pretty rough day at work, and so when he came over and showed me that, it kind of changed the course of, the next few days at work. But yeah, just carved randomly into the branch was the word angel, and it's still there to this day. So every day I walk past it, and now like I can't help but see it. It's there, and now everybody at work knows the story. When we were out there and he was showing me the branch, our office janitor came out, and he's a dear, dear friend of mine. And he's like, "What are you guys looking at?" And he's the one that maintained the courtyard area. He maintained all the plants that we had out there. He maintained that tree. And he's like, "That has never been there. I've worked for this DMV for 20 years, or this department for 20 years, and that has never been there." So we went back in and we went about our day. Well, the next day, I walk in through the courtyard and there's this big, beautiful, like metal, like aluminum angel hanging off of the branch. And I walk in and the janitor comes to me and he says, "Did you see your angel?" And I said, "I saw that." And he's like, "I found that in my garage." And he's like, "I have no idea where that came from. It just randomly appeared in my garage." And I said, "That's Angel's angel. I'm going to take that to work and it's going to hang on her branch." So today, even today, I walk in and I have the angel carved in the tree and I have this big, beautiful aluminum angel hanging from the branch that he randomly found after we saw it. Yeah, it's my son at work for sure to make me feel comfort
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
So beautiful. I
Yeah.
love this story. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Um, when you were talking about the visitation dream and like the parking garage, I could almost see a place on the other side where they can go to kind of lower their energy. We go to increase our energy via visitation dream and make that connection. He wants you the next time because there's going to be more visitation dreams. He goes, "That's not a thing that you can't hug him, that you
Mhm.
can." And so
Okay.
he said, next time, he said, "Give me a huge hug."
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Thank you.
Yes. He said that you had some fear because you were so excited to see him that you didn't want to do anything wrong to make the dream fade. And he said you couldn't do anything to make it
Yes.
fade. Okay.
The last thing my son Daniel said to me, as he was walking out the door that day, we had been joking, and he said, "Mom, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a tattoo of your name." And I said, "You're crazy, son." And he walked out the door laughing. So it has to be some part of significance to why I see my name
Yes.
here and there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And also, I really feel like he wanted to leave you with an image of him happy, like with a smile on his face and
Oh,
laughter.
yeah, I truly believe that because even other people that we've talked to and medium type people that come into our lives and my other kids' lives and say, "Hey, your brother has this," or "Hey, your son is telling me this." Most of his messages to us, to his family, is that he's okay and that he wants us to know he's okay and that we're going to be okay. Like
Yeah,
his first intention all the time is for us to know that we're going to be okay. He's
that's
more
amazing.
worried about us, I think, than we're worried about him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he also brought through some messages. Does he have a sister?
Yes.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 28.
There's a couple of things that I wanna give you after this for her because 'cause I'm sensitive on just bringing through everything in an open forum where
Mhm.
everybody can hear, but there's just a couple private messages he has for her. I'm really, really mindful too when I'm like, you're talking and he's communicating with me while you're talking. Sometimes I will ask the spirit that's here to say something a couple of times or bring things back a couple of times to just to verify that it's not me thinking it, but it's really him saying it. And he did that on a couple of different things. The first thing is that he kept saying to you, and this isn't something that I like to bring through as a message because everybody's got free will here, right? And stuff happens. But he said, no, my mom needs to hear the words come out of your mouth. He said, you won't have to go through this again. And he said that you
Okay.
needed to hear those words. You won't have to go through this again.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense right now in our lives.
He also talks about being like we're kind of getting towards 2025 here as we're recording this. He really wants you to be very mindful of your stress. He said that's one of your jobs in 2025. And I asked him a couple of times because I said that's one of my goals for 2025 and he goes it needs to be one of her goals too. He said create a mantra or an affirmation around peace and just really getting to know what your energy is, your vibration is, and allowing yourself to just be in your own peace and not let anything else around you rock it. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing that he said is, I don't know if you're worried because I only bring through loving, positive messages, but he said that there was a health thing that maybe you were a little worried on. And he said, Mom, no worries.
Yep.
So
Makes
you know
sense.
what he's talking about.
Yes, I do.
That's really important. He also said that he wants everybody listening to know and you to know that it is him every single time. So when your other kids might say, it can't be him all the time. It is. It is him all the time. And that's where when I talk on the podcast about relationships with our loved ones on the other side, that's the
Mhm.
relationship, right? Like
Yeah.
there is that day-to-day contact and you wake up in the morning and he says hello and you're going about the day and he's like I'm here mom. It's always there and that is relationship. So he said every time you see it and you think of him, talk to him within your own mind too.
Oh, I do. So I will
Yeah.
continue to, for sure.
Yay. Yay, yay. Oh,
Yes.
Angel, this is amazing. Stay on. But I just
Okay.
want everybody listening to know that we are looking to share your angel stories as well. Go over to theangelmedium.com, use the contact form to submit your angel story. And we would love, love, love to have you on the show to share yours. Angel, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Julie. Yes.
Of course. If this podcast aligns with you and you feel called to work with me, thank you. Your support keeps this Angel podcast alive. Here are 3 ways to work with me. Book a session with me to hear directly from your angels and loved ones. Or my angel membership helps you connect with your angels, embrace your purpose, and build unshakable confidence. Like learning to read or ride a bike, you're going to gain skills that last forever knowing who you are, why you're here, and direction that lasts a lifetime. Or my Angel Reiki School offers certification in mediumship, energy healing, and angel messaging while showing you how to master your gifts and start a successful spiritual business. Now, I want you to pause, tune in, connect with your angels, maybe take a deep breath and ask them, how can I serve as an earth angel today? What guidance do you have for me right now? How will you let me know you're near? And allow your angels to support you all day. Friends, I'll see you at the Angels and Awakening podcast here every Monday and Thursday. And thank you for listening. You're my angel.